What is going on, everyone? My name is LC, and today we are here with Zenless Zone Zero, the newest installment in the HOYOVERSE gameplay franchise. I guess I know it's like a whole cinematic universe now. It's just a whole. It's huge. It's honestly huge. We got Genji, we got the Honkai Star Rail. Like, there's just so much things going on. But yeah, Zenless Zone Zero, is finally here. So today we will be doing something kind of different and kind of same, if you know what I mean. So you guys would know that whenever I play a new game, we usually do a kind of honest impression of the game, right? But we're doing that with a twist today. Today we're going to be doing also like a critique of the game. So what's going to happen is you guys will see my honest impressions. Like for example, some cutscenes may have like my honest reaction during that same time as the cutscene is going / gameplay. But there will be other times where I just do a voiceover of what I think of the game, the scene, the combat, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that, just to see like where I'm coming from and like me marinating my thoughts on the game so far, so I can give like an honest critique of the game, right? So it'll be a mixture of the both. I hope it'll go well, you know what I mean? Again, it's first time doing it, so I want to see how well it works. So with that being said, let's give it a go. Now, one thing that really stands out about this game, again, for me, is its cutscenes and its overall graphics. I think it is one of the most immersive things I've seen in a gacha game in a minute. And don't get me wrong, HOYOVERSE generally has like a good track record for good cutscenes in my opinion, but this game right here, I think it takes it to the next level. And I'm not talking about some two reasons why that would be. I'm generally speaking as like someone who loves video games, right? This, from what I see on my screen right now, what I've played, it looks like they've taken their sweet old time crafting this. It looks like they had the best animators just straight up just animate this beauty. Like, it's too good. It's honestly too good. I think that the graphics carry it heavy, I will say that, and that's not entirely a bad thing, right? When you create a game with an immersive story like this, I think that you want its graphics and, you know, its overall setting and the overall placements of certain things to carry the game in some aspect, right? But that can tear you away when it comes to the overall gameplay of it, right? So if the open world aspect isn't as, you know, interesting as the cutscenes of the game are, you know what I mean, it won't exactly be as appealing to you, the player. It kind of throw you off because you thought, you know, the game can resemble it in some sort of way. And I do think, for the most part, from what I've played, I do think that it kind of does share the quote-unquote open world-ishness of, you know, the cutscenes, right? But there are some things that kind of do and don't feel as immersive. It's not to say it's a bad thing, right? I think with Zenless Zone Zero, I think that they tried to like mix Honkai's, like the Honkai Impact series and like the Genshin-ish part of like because both of them made the same company, right? But it's like two kind of different art styles, you know what I mean? So you have your Honkai Star Rail, Genshin, you have Wuthering Wave was the part of that, no. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact. I feel like there's another one, but I might be wrong. But yeah, those two in particular, they share very similar art styles, very similar like gameplay-ish. I know Honkai is turn-based, right? So I think in terms of, again, similar art style, similar cutscenes, similar ways things work. But when it comes to like Honkai Impact, right? This game is very reminiscent of that, like in terms of its art style and its graphics, right? But I do think that there's also some aspects of, like, you know, what you say with Genshin or Honkai Star Rail, right? So I think this game in particular is trying to find its identity within the two, because again, HOYOVERSE has a lot of like colossal giants a part of the game, right? And I think what this game tried to do is really step out of, you know, like the mystical aspect and try to step into, not, I guess, kind of modern days ish kind of. Again, Honkai Impact has kind of like this modern day twist a little bit, but for this in particular, I think it's, oh look, the graphics kind of cook here. Okay, this is actually, wow, this looks really nice. Okay, this story looks so immersive already. Okay,
come check this out.
It's so alive right now.
14th Street. I think the news mentioned it earlier.
Okay, look at HOYOVERSE, man.
Give me a sec.
Yeah.
This
in the
actually
Janus
looks
quarter.
really,
They say
really
it's
nice.
already breached the level 3 controls.
It doesn't look so stationary.
Public security were
This is kind of like, to me, this is has like a cyberpunk aesthetic towards the game. So I think, again, it's just trying to find its identity right now, but for the most part, in terms of story and again cutscenes and whatnot and graphics, again, I think it really shines. It honestly really shines. That's honestly one of the biggest pros about this game that I find. So next up we have is the combat. Now this, I think, is a very controversial take, because with most gacha games, they're all very similar, you know what I mean? It's either turn-based or it's like button mashing, right? So you're not really gonna find a game that really pushes that like boundary where you have to like study and like try something new. Like you can, but you it's not like Elden Ring, right? And the thing is, not every game has to be like Elden Ring, right? That's a totally different, not different medium, but like it's a different game, right? Souls-like games are harder, and yeah, they're harder, right? When you're playing a gacha game, it's not really meant to quote unquote be hard. You know, most of these games kind of just go for money, you know what I mean? So it's like there are some aspects where you have to really plan like how you're going to use these certain characters and what like time things correctly, but it's not really pushing any boundaries, you know what I mean? It's not really doing that, at least in my opinion. It's not to say it's really a bad thing, because yeah, one thing I do enjoy about the combat is how personal these moves are to each of these characters, right? So for example, Billy, with him and his being a gun specialist, he does his thing. I'm not gonna lie, he does his thing wholeheartedly. I will say that his moveset is freaking insane, and then his like dodging mechanic and it's really, really good. But I can see why some people might think that this game might be, with the combat anyway, it might be repetitive, because it's kind of the same thing over and over. I think a lot of gacha games kind of suffer from that, right? The repetitiveness. That's why people kind of get like bored from it. When you're playing a Souls-like game, you know what I mean? I'm sorry to drift off here, but like there's a whole like revenue of like mixing and matching and trying different things, right? Whereas gacha games, you kind of have to like, you know what I mean? Like get someone for a different character to try this different thing, right? Or yeah, it's like kind of like that. And you don't really, not really don't really want to do that, but it's like it can be kind of exhausting and kind of take you away from the game, right? So I think one of the games that do it, one game that does it correctly is honestly solo leveling, because you don't have to do something for like different weapons and stuff. At least they allow you to try different, you know, weapons and different movesets and different skill sets, so like you can at least, you know, branch out and try different things, right? With here, it's not bad. I won't say it's bad, no, because again, I do like the combat, like in terms of like movesets, in terms of like choreography, right? But again, it will get very repetitive because it's the same thing over and over and over again. So it will be your typical button mashing game. I think that's honestly, it comes with territory with games like these. But it's honestly up to you how you want to perceive it. Again, for me, that's not really too much of a problem, because I don't really have a huge issue with button mashing, because it's just like, you know what I mean? Like button mashing games aren't terrible, right? I kind of do enjoy it for the most part, but when it gets like too repetitive, it can get too tedious, and then too boring, and then you stop playing the game, right? So I think, well, for like Zenless anyway, they're gonna have to find a way to, if they want to, this is just me, a personal thing, right? If they want to, they can try find different ways to, like, you know, change up the combat every now and then. But what I will say though, I will give them this, the tag in system, like, you know, when it's time to tag in someone, they have a little like special attack that they do when they come in, and we tap it like within that time frame. I think that's pretty cool. That mini game right there is actually really cool. Some games kind of do that, but with a twist. Like you have to tap on the character icon and then they do their special attack. But it'll just show up if you want them to come in, right? You don't have to click it, but you can if you want to. But I think it's honestly really cool. But yeah, for the combat anyway, I do think it does hold this game back some instances, but for the most part, it's not a huge deal. One thing I do actually enjoy what Zenless Zone Zero did is actually introducing like different kind of modes. So you're able to see that they introduced a casual mode and a challenge mode, so you can just play this. So you can just play for what the story is. It'll be like, think of difficulty settings in your favorite game, right? This is basically that. So you can pay for the story, the enemies will be easier, it'll be a much like quicker and efficient time, but challenge mode, the enemies will be harder, and like it's more focused on like combat stuff, right? So I do want to like honorably mention that because I do think it's a pretty good avenue from the game. But lastly, I do want to input. Now this is a very this is just like a me thing. It's like part of like the overall grand scope of the game. I just think that again the HUD is cool, but it's kind of like a lot. It's kind of like it's not piercing to the eyes, but like it's a lot. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to like showing you like what to do, I do love the infographics and like them showing you videos of what to do and everything. But it's kind of like it's so not in your face. In your face is the wrong word. It's so like kind of like crumpled together. Like when you're doing like the little like mini game, like you have to travel across like TV screen. That's kind of fine. I think I might just be nitpicking. I'm not gonna lie, but it's kind of like it's just like all over the place. It's kind of like I kind of got like lost in translation. It's like what do I do? This is a lot. You know what I mean? So I don't want to like judge it too harshly, but that is kind of one of the things that kind of like threw me off a bit. The overall HUD isn't too bad, but I do think that it can be tweaked around a little bit because like there's that little like empty sign in the corner. Maybe this will be something later on. It's probably why it's there, but just that being there, it's kind of like, it's not blocking my view, but it's kind of distracting a little bit. The bar on the bottom isn't actually bad at all. See, that's totally fine, but it's just like these random places or things I don't think they really should be. But again, I'm not a game developer, right? So I don't really know the whole scope of it. You know what I mean? But again, as a game player, at least I think I'm entitled to at least that opinion. Again, if it's wrong to you guys, that's totally fine, right? I'm not gonna be mad at that, right? Everyone has their own opinion. Talking about throw a huge fit, but I do think at least for the HUD, the HUD is a hit or miss sometimes. You know what I mean? It's meh and it's not meh. When it comes to like the combat HUD and everything, I think that's perfectly fine. I think there's nothing wrong with it. I think you probably can change it to your own liking for the most part, but only time will tell for that. That does it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So overall, again, I do enjoy Zenless Zone Zero for what it is. I do think there are some things that could be worked on, could be tweaked, but again, this is only like the first 20 minutes of honest gameplay, and I just wanted to give my honest thoughts and critiques about this game. I will honestly keep on playing it. I'll try to get some guides out and some helpful videos out to get you as far ahead of the curve as possible. But overall, I give this score an honest like an LC like 7 out of 10. Like it's pretty good. I won't lie. I think what it is, I think the cinematics carry it 100%. Like they carry this game hard. I will say that, and the graphics too, right? But there are some things that hold it back. Like I said, like sometimes the combat might hold it back, or everything sometimes kind of feels a little jumbled when it comes to the combat screen. Some things might feel a little bit complex when you're looking at it, but for the most part, again, I do think that a lot of things, there's pros and cons. There's pros and cons to every game, right? Genshin wasn't, perfect when it first came out either, you know what I mean? But I do think that this game, honestly, it has a lot of potential, and I think it can honestly do really well. So that is it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed once again. With that being said, my name is LC. Have an amazing day. The verse of the day is on the screen. I hope you guys can apply it to your daily lives and also help inspire others around the world as well. Have an amazing day. God bless, and I'll catch you all later.